Your Honor, I move to quash. What really is move to quash? What is motion to quash? Well, a motion to quash is a formal request to the court to dismiss or nullify a criminal case, information, or complaint before the accused enters a plea, meaning before the trial actually begins. When is it appropriate to move to quash? According to Rule 117 of the Revised Criminal Procedure, Section 1, at any time before entering his plea, the accused may move to quash the complaint or information. Now, what is in motion to quash? Well, the motion to quash, according to Section 2 of Rule 117, shall be in writing, signed by the accused or his counsel, and shall distinctly specify its factual and legal grounds. The court shall consider no ground other than those stated in the motion, except lack of jurisdiction over the offenses charged. Now, what are the grounds to file a motion to quash? The accused may move to quash the complaint or information on any of the following grounds. That the facts charged do not constitute an offense, that is first. That the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the offense charged. Third, that the court trying the case has no jurisdiction over the person of the accused. That the officer who filed the information had no authority to do so. That it does not conform substantially to the prescribed form. That more than one offense is charged, except when a single punishment for various offenses is prescribed by law. And next is that the criminal action or liability has been extinguished. Next, that it contains averments which, if true, would constitute a legal excuse or justification. And last but not least, that the accused has been previously convicted or acquitted of the offense charge, or the case against him was dismissed or otherwise terminated without his express consent. Can you change the facts that is written in the complaint or information? According to Section 4, if the motion to quash is based on an alleged defect of the complaint or information, which can be cured by amendment, the court shall order that an amendment be made. If it is based on the ground that the facts charged do not constitute an offense, the prosecution shall be given by the court an opportunity to correct the defect by amendment. The motion shall be granted if the prosecution fails to make the amendment or the complaint or information still suffers from the same defects despite the amendment. Now, what are the effects of sustaining the motion to quash? If the motion to quash is sustained, the court may order that another complaint or information be filed, except as provided in Section 6 of this rule. If the order is made, the accused, if in custody, shall not be charged unless admitted to bail. If no order is made or having been made, no new information is filed within the time specified in the order or within such further time as the court may allow for good cause. The accused, if in custody, shall be discharged unless he is also in custody for another charge. What is Section 6? An order sustaining the motion to quash is not a bar to another prosecution for the same offense unless the motion was based on the ground specified in Section 3G and 3I of this rule. Now, what is Section 7 of this rule? former conviction or acquittal. When an accused has been convicted or acquitted, or the case against him dismissed or otherwise terminated without his express consent by a court of competent jurisdiction, upon a valid complaint or information or other formal charge sufficient in form and substance to sustain a conviction, and after the accused has pleaded to the charge, the conviction or acquittal of the accused, or the dismissal of the case shall be a bar to another prosecution for the offense charged, or for any attempt to commit the same or frustration thereof, or for any offenses which necessarily includes or is necessarily included in the offense charged in the former complaint or information. However, the conviction shall not be a bar to another prosecution for an offense which necessarily includes the offense charged in the former complaint or information under any of the following instances. 1. The grave offense developed due to supervening facts arising from the same act or omission constituting the former charge. The second is that the facts constituting the graver charge became known or were discovered only after a plea was entered in the formal complaint or information, or third, that the plea of guilty to the lesser offense was made without the consent of the prosecutor and of the offended party except as provided in Section 1F of Rule 116. What is Section 8? Provisional dismissal. What is that? A case shall not be provisionally dismissed except with the express consent of the accused and with notice to the offended party. The provisional dismissal of offences punishable by imprisonment not exceeding 6 years or a fine of any amount or both shall become permanent 1 year after issuances of the order without the case having been revived. With respect to offences punishable by imprisonment of more than 6 years, their provisional dismissal shall become permanent 2 years after the issuance of the order without the case, again, having been revived. Last section of the Rule 117 of the Revised Criminal Procedure is Section 9. Failure to move to quash or to allege any ground therefore. The failure of the accused to assert any ground of a motion to quash before he pleads to the complaint or information, either because he did not file a motion to quash or failed to allege the same in said motion, shall be deemed a waiver of any objections based on the grounds provided for in paragraphs A, B, G, and I of Section 3 of this rule. Thank you.